Spencer again, set to go to work on each other. We'll give that one to Spencer. Through the hands of the Essendon skipper, it came to ground, and a chance for Merritt to get through a bit of traffic. That was very neat stuff from Jackson until he just set the ball on the outside of his right boot. Turnover might be on here. Stretch goes to work. Found White. That was okay by hand. White kept going. Found his own handball and then kicked it. Tumbled it inside the 50. Out come Melbourne's forwards. It's good stuff from Hewlett again, who's had a real day today. He goes across the ground. Kilty to go to work on Ferry. The ball bounces to and then away and then back to Kilty. He's going to be well tackled by Ferry, and they'll toss it up deep in the forward pocket right at the old school end here at Windy Hill. Almost a minute gone this third term. Casey with 4 points in the bank at this stage. Long, Grimer, his handball almost chopped off, going through Coughlin. Well tackled by Grimes. Ball spills free momentarily. Stretch got it out to Tringove, who's had a good day. He tumbles it into the pocket. Ashby tracked it towards the line. He sees it over, and we'll do it all again. So a minute gone. Third term here at Windy Hill. 32-28. Casey in front.
The umpire preparing now. They've had a fair workout today. There have been a lot of stoppages. Toss back in. Spencer and Jamar. Jamar the front position. Well done by Wallace. Just shot the handball out. Now the kick heads towards 50, but it's cut off. Oscar McDonald coming in to take the mark for Casey. Well, within range now with the breeze. He'll be kicking from outside 50. Plenty of goal face to look at. Any outliers just going to run alongside? The answer to that is no. As the kick comes in, it's going to drop short. Oh, all the way to the goal square, top of the goal square. Picked up by Spencer. He marks and strolls in and kicks the goal. So the first goal of the third quarter to Casey. And they move to 5-8-38. It's a 10-point margin. Bombers 4-4-28. We've played 2 minutes in this second quarter on Essendon VFL Radio.
Yeah, Mark Jamar absolutely filthy with himself for that one. He just ran underneath the flight of the ball, and Spencer couldn't believe it. Oh, his presence had come at once, and he just popped it through from point-blank range. So expect the big Russian to create a fairly strong contest at this next one. He does get in first, but just went a little early and missed the footy. At ground level, here comes Wallace. Well played, young man. Tumbles it to the top of the arc. No mark initially, but Edwards picks up the crumbs. He can put the afterburners on. Chips over the top. There's not going to be a mark, but it might beat Redmond and go through. Oh, wonderful defence. Desperation from Turlick on the last line. And it holds up the Bombers 4-8 forward. They're 29, trailing Casey 38.
That was dangerous. That was very close to the goal line. This is dangerous too. It might be cut off. It goes through the initial pack. McDonald's there. Sold his teammate Garland into trouble. Handball eventually spills free. Good tackle there by Long. It falls to Wallace. Works to Jamar. Jamar kicks towards the 50. The mark has been taken by McKernan. They drift back. Redmond just strolls back to the goal square. Langford there as well.
There's a few calling him to take the shot, Pete, but I'm just not sure that it's possible with this wind.
Well, let's see. Maybe a bit of home ground knowledge might come in handy here. Shielded by the grandstands on this side. McKernan, he doesn't go for goal. He goes to the top of the goal square. They fly. No one can take the mark. Dangerous footy. Merritt just taken off it. Edwards there as well, trying to kick it away. Garland in trouble. Plenty of players diving in. In fact, it's Spencer there too. And the umpire will throw the ball up. So they're just hanging on here, the Scorpions, and this set up forward. As Spencer had it all to himself in the ruck, pushing forwards. And now they eventually get the clearance. Mishi kicks up the line and got plenty of purchase on it too. Smith going to work with Grimer. Grimer gets there first. Smith just worrying him off it. Heppel comes in to provide some relief. Wilson legged him though, and he'll take the free kick at half back.
So Heppel goes across the ground. They're going to try and swing this around. McNeese on the right boot, nicely weighted, allows Ambrose to run onto it. He drives down the line and Long's got some space to go to work. What can Twinkle Toes do here? He soft shoe shuffles, gets around his man. That was McDonald, and then he stabs a low ball beautifully onto the chest of McKernan. Bombers looking better. He's called to play on. Long kept running. He's gone backwards just for the moment. Retreats, and now some space for handballing from Dornoff. Couldn't find a target. Edwards, well tackled. That was good stuff from White, and they've held him up. They'll toss it up at half forward. Essendon attacking but trailing 29-38. 5 minutes gone in this third term.
They're doing all the pressing at the moment, aren't they, Leedsy?
Just need that one out the back. Here is the skipper working hard at ground level for Essendon. Coughlin will toss it back to the umpire. He's being well held there. Looks like he and Trengove keeping each other company for the moment. Spencer wins this one down. And we're not going anywhere quickly. We'll handball to Mercado to see if he can find some space at the 5.5 minute mark of the third term.
As long as it's not a hospital one, we'll be okay. As Jamar works it back into the path of Merritt. Works Ashby off a step. This kick going high, marked by Spencer. Uncontested in the end. He goes for a run, Jakey. Kicks across the ground. Oh, he found a player in space. They've just lined up nicely. It's Mitchie who kicks across the ground. Bullen will leave it for his teammate Newton. That was a smart option. He takes the mark, edge of the square, still on centre wing, puts it into the path of Stretch, who kicks a long high ball, 2 to beat there for Smith. It's just fisted away there from Grime, and we'll have it thrown in deep into attack for Casey. We've played 6 minutes in this third term and 38 plays 29 here on Essendon VFL Radio.
So Casey deep in the forward pocket, kicking with the aid of the breeze in this third term. Close contest here, not free flowing, but a good one. Ball at ground level, and there's going to be an appeal for holding the ball, and it's going to be paid. So Merritt was the man who just had Smith, and in the end there was no getting away. He's going to go with his right boot down the line looking for McKernan, and Jamar, who flew, but at the back it was almost taken by Casey. In the end, White was at ground level. He received the handball, got it to Neil Bullen, quickly on to Mitchie. Inside the 50 they tumble it, and the marker's taken by Wilson. So that was really just get the ball moving forward at all costs, and at the end of it, Cody Wilson will have the shot. He's on a 45-degree angle with just on the arc to carry by the time he gets boot to ball. 38-29 before this kick. The Scorpions in front at the 7-minute mark of the third term. Wilson brushes past the paint, got every bit of it. That's a magnificent finish. His first of the afternoon, and Casey extend that lead. Essendon a 4-5-29. Casey have moved on to 6-8-44.
Yes, that movement of the footy. They've done well to lock it in for about 5 or so minutes, the Bombers, but just couldn't sustain it. Yesterneed's going down to the rooms for something. Disappearing off there. Doesn't appear to have any injury concerns or anything like that. I'm sure he'll be back up pretty soon as ball back in the middle and going nowhere from the contest. Trengove just held up. The umpire will throw it up pretty much in the centre circles. They need to put the marker down here, the Scorpions. The Bombers will have the breeze in the final term. Jamar getting the tap down. A kick out of midair going high. Could bring rain if there wasn't rain already. Not 15, said the umpire. So again, the ball in dispute. Heavy side, coughed up the footy to King, who just kicks it long inside the 50. Too far for Smith. Oh, ball tapped down. Wilson again gets boot to ball. He was under pressure, but still managed to put it through. A couple in the row for Wilson and the Scorpions. He was under all sorts of pressure, but just had plenty of goal face to look at as he turned around. He was only about 20 metres out and he put it straight through. No problem at all. They move to 7-8-50. Bombers 4-5-29. 9 gone. Second quarter. Essendon VFL Radio.
Yep. He looks hot all of a sudden, doesn't he? It's like everything's just going to come into his path. 2 minutes for Wilson and Casey. Doing some damage on the scoreboard here. There's a free kick going, against Jamar for Shepherd. We'll have to come back to that. Quick ball inside the 50, out the back, some desperate defending needing to be done. They find the line, Bombers defenders, and they'll toss it in. 5 metres around from the point post, just needing to hold on all of a sudden. 50-29 at the 10-minute mark of the third term. The Eads is back up and walking along the boundary line, so hopefully he'll be back on the ground. Looks like he's ready to go. Defending to be done in the meantime. Jamar caught one in the back, yep, and he will get the free kick here. Not sure what that one in the middle was for. He jumped at the footy and Looked like he used his ample frame to clear some space, but it was played against the free kick. He gives this handball to Comer, who drives it long, but it's just going to sit up in that wind no matter how high you kick it at the ground level. And the ball's initially coming out. The umpire's going to be forced to toss it up. King, the man to toss it back to the umpire. Still at half forward. Casey attacking with the breeze. King dragged off the ball, allowed to go on. Another stoppage coming up, I fancy. Here's Peter McCarter on Essendon VFL Radio.
Try and get something going here. A little bit of push and shove as the players pick themselves up. Nothing in that. Dornoff, the last to get up. Again, the tap down from J-Mar. And again, just the pack of players comes in and the umpire has no other alternative but to say, give it to me.
Not the worst result for the Bombers just at the moment to settle this little momentum shift down.
Almost 11 minutes gone in this third quarter. Ball pressing towards the line. Kept back in. Grimes kicks around the body up towards the 50. No one can take the mark. Working hard there at the bottom of the pack is Ambrose. He's going nowhere and the umpire will try again. Half forward here for Casey. 11 minutes gone. 50 plays 29. Bombers desperate to get a couple into the breeze. As it's picked up, Dornoff all ran into Neil Bullen. It was dangerous. He trapped the footy. The umpire says throw it up. Still at half forward. We haven't really
just
gone
managed
far.
To slow them up though, haven't they?
They have.
Essendon, after losing a couple of clearances.
So again, the fist comes out. We almost thought about going again off the ground. Was that player in white, and it'll be thrown back in again.
Grimes.
Over to you.
Thompson just having a bit of a chuckle there. Thompson is appealing for out of bounds on the full, nothing doing. He's found some space here, Grimes. If Melbourne can win the tap, it's going to go into his path, but Edwards was just there in front of him. He got the handball away. Willis worked his way through traffic. No, he didn't. A throw called. Play on. Casey through Mitchie. One step. That is a lovely finish. He gets his first of the afternoon with just a little bit of class. And Casey have just started to split this game a little bit. 56-29 at the 12-minute mark of the third term.
Well, if you have left the ground, the raffle prize is being drawn. I'll wait for the sign to come back. I'll give you the winning ticket number in a moment, Leedsy. I think it was 4629, but I'll just get that confirmed. He's just gone back underneath. Ball thrown back up. Clearly not a winning ticket for you, as Dornoff went without it for Essendon. Oliver, the bottom of the pack, going nowhere for Casey. Ball eventually released. Now they got outliers. Here's Turley, can go for a run. One bounce. He pulls up to 55 and goes with a long, long ball, but in the goal square is Grimer for Essendon. He takes the mark. He kicks out to Michael, who's mummified after a blood rule in the second quarter. He's kicked just a dribbling ball. McDonald there. Oh, trapped it beautifully. Did really well. Handball over the top. Sold Patterson into trouble. He's on the deck. Can he release the footy? He doesn't. The umpire says throw it up. Gee, it was almost basketball style there from McDonald. Great control on the footy. If you see the man with the raffle prize, let's get the winning ticket number. McKernan trying to get the tap down. Ball going nowhere. Dornoff, the bottom of the pack. Holds for quite some time. We'll throw it up.
Been claimed all over.
I think so.
So if you're the real winning ticket, you're a little late, unfortunately.
There's Musali went without the footy. Paddling in front of him is Oliver for Casey. They're at half forward. The Scorpions. Ambrose got it to Wallace, who just cleared the area. This is going to come straight back, though. As McDonald sits underneath it, right in the middle of Windy Hill. He got it across to Mitchie, who puts the ball deep inside the 50, but a good defensive mark. And the Bombers, can they try and build something from here? Ferry took the mark and he set them running.
They're hemmed in again for the moment. Merritt's going to go down the line looking for a mark. He's going to hold up Willis. Well played, young man. Took the mark at centre wing. Now he needs to turn and go. He gets onto that left boot. Little chipping ball, hoping for Redmond, but I fancy Turlick almost had more of that than anyone else. Called to play on. At the back, it's going to be Munro who wins it for Casey. He gets him going to half forward, sitting underneath it. Ferry, well fisted on by Hewlett. He's wanting the boundary line. He's getting the boundary line, and Casey can reset in the forward pocket. with the scoreboard reading 8:8:56 to 4:5:29 at the 15-minute mark of the third term. Essendon desperately hanging on. Another 15 minutes to defend before they get their crack with the breeze. Came to Merritt, back pocket. It was stolen at ground level. Good stuff by Wallace at ground level, I thought. But there's a free kick for too high, and it's going to come back to Newton, where the umpire ruled, copped a free for being too high from the Essendon defenders, and the kick will come from 40 metres out. He is about 6 metres in from the boundary line, so the wind just about completely at his back here. Distance will not be the issue. To extend the lead for some real ascendancy for Casey, it's across the face. One behind, 57 to 29, 16 gone, third term. It's his third behind of the day, Pete.
Yeah, well, they've had the breeze. It's been tough going. You get the score as McNeese kicks to himself and then goes with a long ball outside the 50. It's going to drop short. Oh, he can get there. Heavy side. And worked with Heppel. Now Michael. He was wrapped up in the tackle. Still managed to get the ball away. Handball straight to Turlick though. And the Scorps are away as they work back inside the 50. And we'll go straight back to McNeese and we'll do it all again. McNeese kicks across the ground. Shorts. It's okay. They're going to work this out slowly. The Bombers. As the kick exits the 50 is no good. Patterson on the end of it takes the mark. So turnover for turnover. 16 and a half minutes gone in this third quarter. And Paul Patterson just goes with the ball up to the top of the goal square. Sort of style. Well, the fist came in, then didn't from McNeese. He had to go and pick it up again. Spencer was there, went without it. Heavy side, got it to Coughlin, who cleared the area. Was he dealt with afterwards? Yes, he was. This is going to be a downfield free kick. It'll be taken by Heppel at half back.
And that may just be the easiest way for Essendon to clear it from their defensive 50, although the numbers have now gone up the ground and they're going to retreat to Edwards to try and spread this Casey defence. Edwards can lope across half back. He danced around his man. That was nice stuff on Hewlett. He's going to have to go to the dance floor again here. Handball to McNeese. Got a good shepherd from Edwards, did McNeese. Gee, Hewlett's a little angry out there. He's taken a few bodies, forced the pressure, and as a result it's gone out of bounds in the full.
It's gone into the cricket nets, Leedsy. I think someone's going to have to jump a fence to go and get that.
That was good stuff from Hewlett. He just didn't give up on forcing an error, and as a result Grimes has it. He sets it to the top of the square. Wants a mark. He's going to get one, but unfortunately for him it's Grimer who takes it for the Bombers.
Works to Heppel in the back pocket, who runs his full measure and kicks outside the 50. Working hard there, Langford. Just pushed it to ground. Well done, Coughlin. Although a tough handball. Heavy side was lucky enough to get onto it. Put it in the path of Merritt. They're going over the top to Michael, who's on centre wing. This is patient play from the Bombers. This is a high kick, though. Did no one any favours. Allen came out with the double fister sort of style back into the middle of the ground where it's in dispute. McNeese came out to meet it. He's ridden into the turf, and the umpire will throw the ball up.
Getting a bit cloggy in there now, Pete.
It is. Sort of a glue pot sort of style. Quick kick out. Common was dumped into the turf. Spencer picked it up. He's wrapped up in the tackle, and the umpire will throw it up again. Almost 19 minutes gone in the third quarter. Casey 8-9-57. Bombers 4-5-29. Casey with the aid of the breeze as Comma tries to just clear the area. Merritt was dragged down. No free kick, said the umpire. And again, we'll be in this situation where we've just moved it just slightly into attack for the Bombers. See if they can get one before time on.
Feels as though this is just about been their best opportunity for the last 15 minutes. As Essendon try and just hold on. Casey, though, win the stoppage. Grimes gets it going forward. Nice mark to Kilty at half forward. He thought about the handball to play on quickly. He realised it was the wrong man. Here's Oliver. Handball to Grimes, who can take them on. Goes on his left. Inside the 50. Grimer, though, stands tall. He's been strong in that defensive 50. Releases Ashby by a hand. He's going to go straight down the middle. Dangerous kick. Patterson's there to take the mark. And Casey looked to spread it on the outer side of Windy Hill.
Yeah, to Turlick, who's just held up. He went to Neil Bullen, who was running alongside. He kicks inside 50 and it's going to be turned over again. Ashby takes the mark. You want to be a little bit more circumspect this time, Ashby. He is. He goes real short. Grimer goes up the line. Langford takes it. Now, just every player just working across to that outer side of the ground. So it's going to be tough for the markers as Langford goes. Michael floats across the pack. Good mark. He's on centre wing. Here in the Bulls Club. He goes across the ground dangerously. But they're out here. Ferry is the outlying player as they move towards the broadcast side. A good switch of play from the Bombers. McNeese gets on the end of it. He's still on centre wing. They switch from one side of the ground to the other. And now called to play on. He's just held up. So he just kicks as long as he possibly can. This is going to drop into the hole. Hutchins and Spencer takes the mark.
There's been a big presence out there, has Jake, and he releases Grimes, who ditto to Stretch, who just has a bounce through the middle of Windy Hill. He has two. Coughlin gives chase. Stretch gets away from him, drives it to the top of the square. This might go through. Grimer's going close. It did go through, but missed on the right-hand side. I fancy Grimer would have just said to himself, I've got it covered if it does make it to the goal line. And here Essendon bring it back in.
Yeah, Ashby's taken the mark in the back pocket. He goes outside the 50. Eads with a bit of work to do. In flew long. No one could take the mark. And the Scorps move it inside the 50 nicely. Here's an opportunity for Munro as he goes around the body. Too far. Out of bounds on the full. So we've gone 21 and a half minutes in this third quarter. 8:10:58 plays 4:5:29. The Scorps with the breeze in this quarter. The Bombers would love one just against the flow of play. They've only had the one behind as the kick comes in. It's a high ball. Gee, it held up in the breeze. One on there by Jamar. Worked it across. Ambrose had some time and space. It's a really wide open 50 at the moment. The kick needs to get down there.
Good stuff from Hutchins. Just stop Thompson getting up and going.
Now, well, he does. He wheels around now. Quick kick is short. It's okay. It's mark inside the 50. And it's McKernan who wants to go into the pocket. Oh, that's nicely spotted. Well done, Bombers. That's an excellent transferal of the footy. And Langford ran down and he'll have the shot at goal. He'll only be 25 metres out. Got plenty of goal face to look at right behind this kick. And this is a badly needed one for the Bombers.
Jamar, really good stuff at half-back. Just strong enough to get on the goal side, open side of the ground and released Ambrose with the handball. So be happy to contribute there.
So Langford steps in. Left shoe, kick on the way. Yeah, it drifted late, but it snuck in. That's his second. And that's a good one for the Bombers as they move to 5-5-35, and they just narrow the gap ever so slightly. 8:10:58 Casey, 23 minutes gone in this third quarter on Essendon VFL Radio.
It's the beginnings of a rainbow deep beyond the Lawn Bowls rink, where
there is
some activity, believe it or not. And that's commitment. Good luck to those who are taking on the conditions.
It stops for no one, Leedsy. You know that.
I fancy it's just a bit of practice too.
Looks like the rainbow's hitting. Is that the Spirit of Tasmania out there?
It does very much look like that's the way it's set up.
We've got a hell of a view from our commentary position.
The things you see at the VFL, that is quite remarkable. Back in the middle here, Essendon fancy themselves to be right in the contest. Bomber fans, if you're sitting back in the warmth of the car or inside having a cup of tea, it's 35-58, but 7 minutes to defend here before they get the chance to kick with the wind. As the ball is being worked forward by Casey Wilson, they're being called to have the shot. Long ball from Newton, one step, and that's why he was being called to take the shot. In the end, it was all too easy, and that's a very quick answer from Casey, who move on to 64 in front of Essendon, 35-24 gone third term.
Yep, that's what Essendon will be looking to do in the final quarter. They've seen the glimpses of it, but Casey very efficient when they do get those opportunities.
Yeah, that was a sublime finish, really, wasn't it?
Certainly was.
Called into it and nailed it.
So back in the middle, just the ruckman for Casey's losing his footing. King in there, but anyway, ball spills free. This is White who kicks into the forward pocket. It's a deep ball, too deep. and will be thrown in. Too far there for Paddy Ambrose. So the ball will be thrown in. About 15 metres around from the behind post for the Bombers. For Casey, I should say. 25 minutes gone. As Coughlin just tries to dig it out of there. Tringove just holding it back in. No one can get clear. The umpire eventually call a stop to this. Put on the siren warning. It will come in quite loud the next 5 or so minutes.
Just the 6 goals in this third term, so I couldn't imagine it'd be a massively long quarter.
As, again, no one going anywhere near Bullen. The ball spilt to the back. The umpire says push out, free kick going Essendon's way. And it'll go to Wallace in the back pocket.
Done some neat things this afternoon. There's Tom Wallace, and he's going to kick this ball. Oh, it flew! And he was a little early. And unfortunately, he was on his way down as the ball passed, and the umpire said that was unrealistic.
He was sunrise when he really wanted to be the 6 o'clock news.
Correct. He goes into the pocket with the kick does king. It's going to go towards the line, out of bounds, and a good spot for Casey to attack from. Desperate one for Essendon to defend. 35 to 64, 26 and a half gone, third term. Hope you're enjoying this on Essendon VFL Radio as Jamar won it from the stoppage, just took it and then handball. Patterson was there, he goes back, Mitchie snaps around the corner close, right to the line, still defending close to the goal line. It comes to Tringove, little handball across the face. And I fancy that was Neil Bullen, who just took it a little bit too far. And as a result, Ashby can do the kicking in.
Yep, as he prepares now. Called to play on, get a move on from the umpire. He puts it high and long again outside the 50, but Jamar comes in, takes the mark, did well. The big Russian plays on now and then kicks out of bounds on the full. He was looking for Michael, didn't find him. 27 minutes gone in this third quarter. 65 plays 35. And the Bombers with the breeze in the final term. So Hutchins kicks Casey deep inside the 50. Is there time for one more? The fist coming in from Ambrose, going nowhere. Kilty just slammed into the turf, and the umpire will throw the ball up. Leedsy just looking across at the timekeepers just to make sure, finger on the button somewhere.
So what can the Bombers do here? Just need to defend for the next couple of minutes. It comes out to Neil Bullen from stretch. Good smother from Redmond, takes it over the line, and they can defend again. They'll set up where the arc meets the boundary line. Casey attacking just in front of the lawn bowls rink here. As we mentioned, there are some very keen participants on a very cold April day. With a heavy side, goes towards the line.
Imagine the greens would be pretty slow.
Yeah, you can't imagine that they'd be racing away. Weight, of course, the key there. Pete.
Of course. Are you a lawn bowler, Leedsy?
Ball to be tossed back in. Again, plenty of work for the boundary umpires today. Don't worry about that. Here's Coughlin. Handball to Redmond. Can Essendon get something going? Kick over the top is going to be, held up in the wind. Not only did it come backwards, but it went sideways as well. Handball releases for Casey, and now they're looking dangerous. Scott has to sit underneath this one, though. Just got away from the tackle. Did well. McDonald sold his mate into trouble. Good tackling from McNeese. And it was also Matty Dornoff involved in that. So another minute tick by. Must be getting close. Essendon hanging on. Jamar's kick smothered. Tringove. Little tap forward. Patterson. McDonald. Back to Patterson. Long left foot kick. It's a bit of the breeze, but not much of a ride, and Ambrose is in the right place to knock it over the line.
You just keep an eye on that, Leedsy. Otherwise your ticket might explode. So again, the ball's in the practice wickets area here at Windy Hill.
Finger well and truly on the button.
So we've played 29 and a half minutes. 30 points is the margin. 65 plays 35. The Bombers to come home with the breeze. Casey making good use of it as it's thrown back in. Free kick over the shoulder. It'll go to Jamar. Yeah, that one pretty clear. King just reaching over the top. J-Mar's kick. Oh dear, this one heading towards the boundary line. It's out of bounds on the full. He's done it again. He's just done it the other side. So is there time for one more? Maybe not. The finger is hovering over the button. McDonald to bring the ball back in. Call to play on now, which he does. It's a high kick going long. That was a much more civilised siren. And that is 3/4 time here at Windy Hill.